Elevator mechanic. We've all seen them, the unassuming figure in a jumpsuit carrying a heavy tool belt disappearing behind a metal door that reads authorized personnel only. You press the button, the doors close, and you forget they exist. But here's the thing. That quiet professional descending into the dark shaft beneath your feet, they're pulling in over $500,000 a year. Not because they're changing light bulbs, because they're the unsung heroes of urban infrastructure, the guardians of vertical travel. When a skyscraper's elevator goes down, the entire building stops, and the guy who gets it running again writes his own check. Let's be honest, in every office tower you'll find them, hidden in plain sight. But today, we're pulling back the curtain on 6 of the most mind-numbingly boring jobs that pay like rockstar gigs. First up, the master of the metal box, aviation insurance adjuster. You know that guy who spends 45 minutes on the phone arguing about a dent in his bumper? Now imagine that conversation, but the dent is on a $90 million Boeing 787, and the argument is happening in a windowless conference room at 3 in the morning. Welcome to the world of the aviation insurance adjuster. Your job? Reading maintenance logs. Endless, soul-crushing maintenance logs. You're not flying planes, you're flying spreadsheets. But here's the catch. When a cargo door malfunctions or a turbine throws a blade, someone has to figure out who pays the bill. That someone sits in a cubicle, eats cold pizza, and earns a base salary of $180,000, plus bonuses that push them well past $500,000. The visual is painfully dull. Highlighters, yellow legal pads, and a calculator with worn-out buttons. But the paycheck? Absolutely electrifying. Oil rig safety coordinator. Imagine being the most hated person on an offshore platform. You're the one who makes the roughnecks wear hard hats, indoors. You conduct fire drills at 4 in the morning. You check the expiration date on every single fire extinguisher, twice a day. It's monotonous, it's tedious, and frankly, it feels like babysitting grown men with beards. But here's the twist. If you're the safety coordinator on a deep-sea rig in the North Atlantic, your base pay is $250,000. And with hazard bonuses and offshore overtime, you're clearing $550,000 easy. Why? Because one spark in that environment turns a rig into a firework. You're not just ticking boxes, you're holding the matchbook closed. The scenery is steel, salt, and gray sky. The action is checking valves. But the bank balance? That's the real adrenaline rush. Medical transcription, cue a lead. Let's get even quieter. You're sitting in a soundproof room, wearing noise-canceling headphones. Your entire day is listening to doctors mumble into a dictaphone about unremarkable cardiac shadows and slight erythema of the left distal phalanx. You don't diagnose, you correct punctuation. You are the grammar police of the healthcare system. It sounds like watching paint dry while it's raining. But the medical transcription QA lead isn't just a typist. They audit the audits. They train AI models to understand slurred medical jargon. And because the healthcare system cannot function without perfectly accurate records, this role commands a salary that hits $500,000 easily for senior leads at major hospital networks. The visual is a glowing monitor, a foot pedal for playback, and a dictionary thicker than your arm. Exciting? No. Lucrative? Absolutely. Commodity trading risk analyst. Here's a job that sounds like a snooze fest. Sitting in a beige office staring at graphs that track the price of frozen pork bellies and crude oil futures. No loud trading floor, no frantic hand signals. Just you, a dual monitor setup, and a math model that calculates the probability of a weather pattern in Brazil ruining the coffee crop. The risk analyst doesn't make the trades. They tell the traders how much they're allowed to lose. You are the grim reaper of spreadsheet calculations. And for that, investment banks pay you $200,000 as a base, but with performance bonuses tied to the fund's volatility, you're taking home north of $600,000. The scenery is static charts and Excel error messages. The action is right-clicking, refresh. But the payoff? You're getting paid like a pro athlete to sit in perfect silence. Funeral home logistics manager. We end with the quietest job of all. You don't deal with the families, you don't perform the services, you manage the inventory, the caskets, the flowers, the transport vans, you check the tire pressure on the hearse, you make sure the vaults are sealed. It's morbid, it's methodical, and it's incredibly boring. But here's the reality. The death care industry is a $20 billion machine, and the logistics manager who keeps the gears turning without a single hiccup is a high-value asset. Starting salaries are modest, but top-tier managers in metropolitan areas, especially those who coordinate large-scale repatriations and high-profile services, cross the $500,000 threshold regularly. The visual is a clipboard, a warehouse of mahogany, and a lot of quiet hallways. But while the silence is deafening, the paycheck is screaming. So, let's recap. The guy in the elevator shaft, the girl in the soundproof room, the woman checking fire extinguishers in the middle of the ocean, they don't make headlines. But they make bank. The lesson? Boring is relative. And sometimes the most boring seat in the house pays for the most exciting life outside of it. If you want more deep dives into the world's weirdest paychecks, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to like this video. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to the algorithm.